Today I'm here with ZaKiya Bell-Rogers of Helpmate. ZaKiya, welcome.
Hi, and thank you so much for having me and our agency.
Oh, I'm very happy to have you here. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do at Helpmate.
Well, I have been working at Helpmate for around 3.5 years. I am their community engagement specialist. I work within the community to help educate people about healthy relationships. I go into substance abuse agencies and different programs and really work on building the skills of having appropriate relationships. We just haven't learned that. Helpmate has been around for 40 years, and they started in the 80s here in Asheville, and it was just folks taking phone calls and getting folks help. Now we have moved into a multi-facility agency. We have counseling, we have court advocates, child care advocate, and child advocates. And groups, case management, and community education. And so we do a lot within the community.
So tell me about the main needs in the community that you guys address.
Well, right now, domestic abuse has such a large arena. It's not just one or two different things. It's not just physical. It's financial, it's emotional, it's physical, it's mental, it's medical. It's all of those things. So the needs that we have vary from client to client. Some clients just need to have someone to keep them safe. Some clients have someone who just needs them to help plan. Someone may need an entire new apartment furnished because they had to leave from a totally different state. So our needs vary, but all the time we tell everybody, if you don't know what to give financially, we always accept financial gifts, because money goes a long way when getting things that people need, like buying birth certificates, or getting IDs and things like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about something like that. Birth certificates and IDs, that's an unusual thing, but it's important.
Yes, it's super important.
Yeah. And so you handle or you help out with things like that. What are the main things? What are the main services that you guys offer, the main ways that you help?
Well, I am a community educator, so I provide services by providing education in the community. But we have case managers who help folks who are going through the situations to plan out their daily lives, figure out what they want to do. We are survivor-led, meaning that we support the survivor. We allow them to pick their choices, pick how they want their plan to go, and we just support them. And so that's one way we work, by empowering our clients to be their own leaders, be their own voice, and we advocate for them to be their voice and have their voices heard. We also have free therapy, which is very unheard of. And we start out with 8 sessions, with 8 sessions, and then continue to reevaluate every time those 8 sessions go. And sometimes you can have more. If not, we are able to referral out. We have free groups where you can come in and you can have domestic violence education or domestic abuse education. We have classes, we have people who can teach parenting classes. We have folks who, when they're involved in the Department of Social Services, the children's department, we have case managers who are able to walk with them in that situation.
That's important.
We have court advocates. We actually have a section in the courthouse where if you're going through a court procedure, you can go and sit in that room and wait until your case is called. So we have a lot of things that we're doing that are great, and it really helps our clients. And we're not just serving women, we're serving men and women, everybody on the gender spectrum. We do not discriminate.
I love the way you say the gender spectrum.
Yes. And as a person who has a lot of gender spectrum folks in our family, I know how important it is.
Excellent.
And we include everyone. We do not discriminate.
Nice. That's so important. Now, domestic abuse is such a big issue in the world, and so important. What can people do to help?
people, what you can do to help if you know someone is going through domestic abuse is the first to listen
Mm-hmm.
and to tell that person that is not what they deserve. It's never their fault.
Mm-hmm.
And never ask someone, well, what did you do to make that person mad?
Exactly.
The question is, well, why is that person violating this person's rights? Just to live and be a person. Never tell someone to leave, because studies have shown that your chances increase 75% if you leave being murdered or seriously injured. So leaving is a process, and you can always make sure that you give them the information to your local domestic violence agency or domestic abuse agency.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Most women and children are hurt after they're trying to leave.
Wow. Well, then it's even more vitally important that we have organizations like yours to help people through the process. Now, what can the general public do to help your organization?
Again, financial donations are always welcome. We do coat drives in the winter. We do clothing drives sometimes, school supplies. We do things for Christmas for our families that are in the shelters. And they can volunteer on the hotline, which is how we receive phone calls for emergencies. Our hotline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Someone is there to answer the call.
And do you do training for people?
Yes, we do volunteer training.
Nice.
And we love our volunteers. We would not be able to work or to do the things that we do if we didn't have our volunteers. They're amazing. But our hotline is the way to connect to all those services that I spoke of earlier.
So tell us about the hotline and tell us how to reach you.
Well, the hotline is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week service that we provide. And that number is 828-254-0516. And you call us, and our hotline service provider first answers the phone, because now we're in the middle of a pandemic. And so we're not in the office, so therefore we can't answer the phones directly. And so we get in contact with them, and then they give us the numbers or the information. We contact that person back. We crisis manage over the phone or whatever we need to do. We do assessments. We talk to law enforcement. We do whatever we need to do on that phone line. Sometimes people just want to know, what services do we have? Can you link me with this service?
And when someone calls the helpline and they get the answering service and then someone calls them back, what's the length of time a typical turnaround time for someone to call them back?
I am not sure, but I would think it was no less than 10 minutes. Or no more than 10 minutes.
Because I would think someone in a crisis situation that might be very relevant.
And I know as soon as they call me, I turn around and I call right back. And most of my co-workers, I'm sorry, do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. And then as far as reaching your organization, if we want to help, what's the best way to reach you?
Same number. Our hotline is the best way to get in contact with everybody. And that number again is 828-254-0516.
Super. And you want to give out the website address as well?
Yes, that is. And it is www.helpmateonline.org.
www.helpmateonline.org. Perfect. Good. Well, ZaKiya, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate everything that you guys do with the organization, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your time this morning. So
thank you.
Just as a small token of my appreciation, I am donating a free gift certificate for a psychic reading or a mediumship reading. And you have brought some names. I know I always ask people for their top volunteers or their top team members. So see who's the lucky one to be drawn out of my funky vintage hat. Yes, go ahead and pull.
Oh, they're stuck together. Christy Price.
Yay! Okay, super. Well, we can email about getting that gift certificate to Christy.
Yes.
That's great. Anything else you'd like to say?
Just thanking the community for the resources that they do give and they do provide to us. And, during this really tough time for all of us, our community is still just showing up and really giving back. And it's amazing the love and support that we still receive from our community.
Well, we're thankful to have you in the community.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.